Do you know what Fairfield's best kept secret is? Well, I'm here at the California Welcome Center and we're about to find out. Come on. So can you tell me a little bit about the Welcome Center? What is it? Why do we have one?
Sure. Well, in 2019, we started working with the state of California's Office of Tourism and also Visit California. At the time, there were only 18 across the state, and it's a relatively rigorous process. They want to make sure that you are geographically and strategically for their mission located, but also that you're going to meet the brand standards that they really want to convey throughout their entire program. So we are now part of this 19 California Welcome Center network that is not only promoted by the State Office of Tourism, but an integral piece of Visit California's kind of road trips strategy as well.
Nice, so there are 19 Welcome Centers throughout California.
Correct.
Why Fairfield? Why was it so important for you to bring one here?
We followed more of the Pier 39 model, which has a California Welcome Center, and that's go where the visitors are already going and provide a service for them to learn more about the area, not just locally, but regionally. And obviously Jelly Belly being a huge tourism draw for those that are not only visiting overnight, but also driving through, can get information about anywhere around the area.
So what can someone expect if they walk into the Welcome Center? What would they come here for? What do you offer?
Really, for those that are traveling, if they're looking at places they want to visit or see if they have specific interests, whether it's locally or regionally, we can provide that information. But also we work closely with our local attractions as well to really encourage people to go out to the Suisun Valley or to discover downtown Fairfield, especially if they're looking for places to eat and especially to stay, this is a part of Visit Fairfield's programming.
Is it kind of like Concierge Services where you can kind of recommend different things?
Absolutely.
Tours, anything like that?
Absolutely, and eventually we'll probably get into some sort of ticketing capability where people can get discount tickets to regional or even local attractions, for example, Six Flags, perhaps some things in Napa, and of course with the Suisun Valley folks working with maybe a wine pass or something to that effect.
You're the president of Visit Fairfield.
Correct.
What role do they play in Fairfield's tourism and economy?
So we are the official destination marketing organization for Fairfield. We are funded with an assessment, and we use those to market Fairfield to not only regionally, statewide, but also international travelers. And many may question, well, gee, what international travelers are coming through here? And of course, pre-COVID, there was a lot actually that we were targeting, mainly in tour buses and things of that sort. And really trying to grow that footprint where they're not just stopping overnight, but they're really going out and discovering certain attractions here in Fairfield as well. Our goal is to promote the attractions regionally so that we can encourage those visitors to stay overnight, as we are funded through our 18-member hotels.
Yeah, and I feel like definitely we have more and more to offer as we grow. Like you said, our Suisun Valley is really growing.
Sure.
Our downtown food scene is amazing.
Absolutely.
On the east side, we have the Air Museum, so there's so many neat things for people to see and do here. Do you find that there's a specific place where people are visiting from?
Obviously, our primary visitation comes from within California, which this type of an alliance with Visit California is really integral to building our brand and our footprint in the destination marketing world. But we do get a lot from Oregon, Washington, and interestingly enough, a lot of visitation from Texas as well. So that's been really kind of eye-opening, where we kind of strategize as to how best to target some of the audiences out there to really allow more people to come and visit.
Yeah, I guess that only makes sense now that a lot of people are doing local destinations or
Sure.
destinations where they don't necessarily have to fly. They can just kind of take a drive.
Right.
Why is tourism so important to Fairfield?
When visitors travel, they're not just paying an assessment. They're spending money in our hotels, they're spending money in restaurants, and they're supporting a lot of tourism-based jobs. For example, in 2019, there was almost $205 million spent directly from visitors outside the area in the local economy in Fairfield alone, and that supported over 1,860 jobs. I know a lot of jobs can be moved from city to city. These are jobs that cannot. 1,860 jobs that we have to have because we have to serve our guests that are visiting the area.
I know you partnered with the city in our art pilot program. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, we definitely support the revitalization of downtown, and we really look forward to that growth. Many years ago, I had a friend of mine who works for TripAdvisor, as you may know, is an internationally known, destination kind of information engine. And we were driving through downtown, and he was just looking around, saying, "Wow, this is one of the truly organic downtowns." A lot of cities try and create that feeling, and he kind of felt it just as we drove through. And so seeing that investment in downtown is amazing. And of course, public arts projects such as the one we just co-sponsored with the city, I think are going to be crucial to that revitalization process.
Really good to know, because I think people might see Visit Fairfield as something that's just a tourist only, something that doesn't really affect residents' lives here in Fairfield, but really it does.
Sure.
It enhances our quality of life, and it brings more people to Fairfield, creating jobs, as you said, which is why it's so important.
And as I referred to earlier, there's obviously the tax implication of new dollars coming into the community. And in 2019, with what tourism tax dollars brought to the community, it alleviated about $475 per household in Fairfield of tax revenue. And when you calculate all of what that means, I mean, it's miles and miles of roads and public parks and things of that sort. So in addition to the fact that people that live here want to be able to do something locally as well. They don't want to necessarily drive, to Napa to go wine tasting. We have a great wine region right here where people can just drive a few minutes and they're out in the middle of wine country. So promoting and fostering and supporting those types of attractions is not only key from a visitation standpoint, but really, like you said, a residential or residents' quality of life standpoint as well.
Can you tell me about the kinds of things that you offer here in the Welcome Center?
Sure.
And plans for expanding, or anything you might be offering in the future?
Absolutely. We do have some Fairfield-based t-shirts and hats and things like that, merchandise, but we also have some California-based merchandise, and those get picked up really quick. A lot of times people are from out of town, or they want to send something to family members that are out of state, and so those are really popular. We have a digital kiosk system that allows people to get information. They can also book hotel rooms not only through that portal, but also it's staffed 7 days a week. I think I was working here with Anthony not too long ago, and somebody was asking about panning for gold, and they were heading out on the 80 towards Sacramento, and so we were able to point them in the right direction. And then also really we have a digital board that promotes local events. So if anyone ever has questions about, I've got a free weekend, what is there to do? We have a toll-free number, and of course a website where somebody can assist in that process. And again, locals and visitors alike.
So tell me, what is Fairfield's best kept secret?
I think our best kept secret really is the Suisun Valley, which is becoming less of a secret. I think when I first started in this role about 10 years ago, it was still a very local and maybe even county-wide reach, and that has exploded in that time through collaborative efforts. And of course, with that recognition and whatnot, there's been an investment in the valley through wineries that are building Village 360, which is operated by Backroad Vines. They just built a beautiful large venue with a restaurant and bar and tasting room and event space. And right next door, Camus Vineyards is coming close to completing their winery as well, and tasting room, and that'll be their first tasting room outside of Rutherford, and that's very exciting because that is definitely an internationally known brand, and so it brings a lot of weight and credibility to the region. We definitely try and keep our pulse on the up and coming, and anything we can support that we can see an angle towards tourism, of course. Whether it's through product development, we've been working actually with Village 360 to maybe create some sort of a wine trail through the vineyards. We've been a strong supporter and proponent of the Pacific Flyway Center. I think that that's going to be our big next addition as far as visitation to Fairfield.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely something to look forward to, and something that will be really unique to Fairfield as well.
Absolutely.
Bring more tourists and more visitors, and hopefully more jobs to Fairfield.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I just encourage everyone to go out and explore your backyard. You know, we started a great newsletter that gets delivered to every household and business in Fairfield back in 2019, and really just to kind of open people's eyes out as to what there is to do out here. We look forward to the community getting more involved and more engaged with all that Fairfield has to offer. We've got some exciting things on the horizon.
Nice. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to continuing to work with you and to see where Fairfield is moving in the future. And I appreciate all the work that you've done for Fairfield.
Thank you.
And for our residents. So thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.